All right, we're back. We're on page 67. I'm gonna do 67 and 68 here because actually 68, I think there's nothing you need to really do. And this is all about the stuff that you should have memorized. So we should be able to get through this. I think what you should do, I really think this, is make some physical note cards, right? So make a note card for each of these, flip through them a lot. You can make some Quizlet cards. I made Quizlet cards at some point. I don't actually know if they still work, but they're linked on my website. So if they do, they do. Let's try to like get this down and make sure we got it right though. So I'm gonna do all the inverse signs first. I'm just picturing that unit circle picture and kind of going in order of the angles. So starting at the bottom of the unit circle and going like up counterclockwise. So we get these. And I think if you, it's like, I wish I could like see inside people's heads to know like how they're thinking about things, because it would be so instructive. I mean, I am visualizing this. I'm not really like recalling an actual number. I'm like picturing it and thinking like, oh, that's associated with that. I don't really know. So now I'm thinking of the unit circle. We're gonna start at the left-hand corner, I guess. We're starting on the left and we're going, it's weird, we're going clockwise actually. So it's gonna be pi and then 5 pi over 6 and then 3 pi over 4. And so it's just a question of like how you have these memorized. Hopefully you just have them memorized. What am I doing? Pi over 3, pi over 4 again, pi over 6. I hope this is inverse cosine, and then 0. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we got that. And then we have our domains and ranges. Domains are like super, super good because sine and arc sine and arc cosine have the same domain. Arc tan is just all reals. Find the inverse tangent of anything you want. Doesn't make a difference. Range, on the other hand, they differ. So, but you can picture the unit circle thing. You can have had this memorized for like 8 pages now. A lot of options on this. I would choose the memorization one and the understanding. Like that's, I really feel like, I don't know, it probably doesn't match with like current research or whatever, but like I feel like memorizing is so useful, but you know, not in vogue. Pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, and 0. The reason I started with those is that I know that tangent itself is odd, so I'm just going to get the negatives here. So negative pi over 6, negative pi over 4, negative pi over 3. There's a reason we're not filling in negative pi over 2 and pi over 2 is because tangent doesn't exist there, which is why they're not in the range of arctan. So what are we doing here? Quadrants for range, 1 and 4, but like the weird version of 4. So you've drawn this a lot if you're taking the right notes. And then 1 and 2, which is here. So I mean, I'm sure people are going to complain about how fast I'm going on this. It's all review. Like you don't even really need to watch. You just fill it in. Here and here. All right. And then we have ASTC, right? All positive, sine, cosecant positive, tangent, and therefore cotangent, and then cosine, and therefore secant positive. So that's really useful when you're just looking at quadrants. And then I just typed it up. Here's a graph of arcsine with the 5 key points. Graph of arc cosine with its 5 key points. I shifted them. Notice that there's like this shift going on so that they look like they match up. They don't. They have very different ranges. But if you do them this way, they do look like they would give you either a Hershey's Kiss if you just like shove them together, or an hourglass, which is how I choose to remember the shapes of them. And then arctan, again, 5 key features, not points. You get 3 points, and you get 2 horizontal asymptotes. It's kind of neat that we have a graph with 2 horizontal asymptotes. We're going to reference that a lot when we talk about like, oh, how many horizontal asymptotes can something have? We know a graph that has 2 of them already. So make sure you remember that. And then this is the hourglass that I choose to remember, with a little like tiny caveat that it's not actually a graph of, well, it's not actually, one or the other of them has to be shifted up or down. So I shifted arcsine up so that everything's above the axis, but you know, you do what you want to do. But anyway, that's this. And we are done with these notes. It's a ton of stuff to think about. So take some time, make sure it's really settled in, because I'm just going to, all year, I'm just going to keep referencing all this stuff. And if you don't know it, it's super uncomfortable and it makes it harder to learn other things. So I hope you're going to put in the time, get everything memorized, and be really successful with this. So I'll see you in the next video, where I guess we're going to be starting some new notes, and hopefully those go well for us. So see you there.